And good evening, ladies and gentlemen. Welcome to Inside the Bubble on KARE 11, KARE 11 Plus, and the KARE 11 streaming apps, along with Brandon Spratt. I'm Pete Wagner, substituting for the vacationing Matt Harrington in Hawaii, and he's never coming back.
Never coming back.
Do you blame him?
No, I mean, it's beautiful. We've certainly been in the middle of a cold week, but how does it feel to be like the substitute teacher of the program? It's like when the principal has to come in as the substitute teacher.
I feel the disrespect. That much I do as a substitute teacher. No, it's been very great, and obviously you guys do a great job putting this show together. Hockey galore here as we're into the dog days, the conference games, surprises everywhere, tight matchups, some blowouts that maybe took us by surprise. We have tons of great highlights to get into tonight. We're going to start off with the boys right now.
Here we go, big rivalry out in Duluth. It is Duluth-Denfeld taking on Duluth East. This is scoreless late into the third period. It's a 5-on-3 for Duluth East, and they get a goal here with just under 2 minutes to play. A big one there from Thomas Gunderson, a power play goal. It's 1-0, but the chaos wouldn't end. 35 seconds left in regulation. Duluth-Denfeld trying to tie it. Initial save is made, but then it's Corey Backstrom who gets the rebound, and we're going to go to overtime tied at 1. Early in the overtime period, Duluth East trying to make something happen here, and they get a deflection in front. I believe it went off a stick, but it's Garrett Olick who gets credit for the game-winning goal in overtime, and the Greyhounds get a huge win over their rival Duluth-Denfeld. 2-1 winners in overtime.
Talk about a great atmosphere there, Matt. Looking great. A great environment at the Heritage Center in Duluth. We send you to the Victoria Rec Center, the Holy War, Holy Angels at Holy Family Catholic. And look at this beautiful setup. Cole Cheeseman to Lincoln Ayers Assad, the sophomore duo, dynamic duo, connect there. Second period now. Look at the great save there. Stefano Carranza shutting down Henry Lechner and company to keep it 1-0 deep into the second period. Now it's a 2-on-1. This on the same shift and buried by Drew Roloffs from Jack Gleason. The Holy Family Fire on the board, and they would take the lead. Late in the period, Cameron Dean's shot coming through traffic. Fire lead it 2-1. Third period now, the Stars with a chance. Look at this slinging feed. The Stars work it beautifully, but Carranza says no. Holy Family adds an empty netter, and they beat the Stars 3-1.
Eden Prairie visiting Mahtomedi, looking for their 10th win of the season. We go into the first period now. There's some trouble behind the net here for the Zephyrs. It's a turnover right into the hands of Mason Moe, who wastes no time putting that one home. It's 1-0 Eden Prairie. This is just less than a minute later now, and Eden Prairie gets another goal, this time from Chase Clute, an even strength tally to make it 2-0. Into the third now, 2-0 lead. Eden Prairie looking to put a mark on this one and close the door. They get another goal from Cole Satterdalen, who had a nice game in this one for Eden Prairie. That made it 3-0. And then nifty little move here right over the glove, as that was Treharn with the goal, and that made it 4-0 in favor of Eden Prairie. Satterdalen finishes with 3 points, and the Eagles win this one 4-0 over the Zephyrs.
Well, we've had this one on the calendar all year. State title rematch and late conference matchup, the first between Minnetonka and Edina. Skipper so dangerous on the rush. Watch this. Danny Clare's right wing side gets the feed from Sam Sheets and goes over the shoulder of Joey Bertram. 90 seconds into the game, the Skippers lead. But Bertram would bounce back. He makes a couple big saves here as the Skippers pile on the pressure, but the game remains 1-0. Later into the second period now, and it's going to break here for the Hornets. Look at the 3-on-2, skating in unison. Dexheimer moves it here, picked up Casey Vandertop, a huge goal for the Hornets late in the second period as well. Yeah, Superman on the celly, and it's 1-1 into the third when the Skippers have some chances. Pounding his stick, Hagen Burrows wants it. Bertram, a fine pad save to deny it. That was in the third, and now in overtime, Ashton Schultz weaving to the net, and there's another save. Bertram, 34 big ones. It ends in a tie, and we'll have to wait for the rematch at Pagel on February 10th.
Orono taking on Southwest Christian Richfield. First period now, as this one will go behind the net. Thought the goaltender had it at first, not the case. As the Stars get the goal, it's Christian Greer who's able to sneak it through. Chaos there. And then at the other end, Orono, this is 7 seconds later, by the way. Off the offensive draw, it's John Engebretson who gets the goal. It's 1-1. Now we go late into the third. We're still tied at 1. And crashing to the net, falling down, getting the goal is Rory Cavern. that would be the game winner. Orono would end up adding an empty netter here as well as Easton Sankey gets the goal. A come from behind win for the Spartans, who take down Southwest Christian Ridgefield by a 3-1 final. The Stars winning streak snapped at 5.
Chan and BSM for the first time. These conference rivals pick it up in the first period here. Red Knights with a good look. It's off the post and behind Cam Hendrickson, but eventually the Red Knights will cash in the follow-up to lead 1-0 on home ice. That was Cameron Kirschner putting BSM up 1-0. Second period now, Andy Earl out front on the power play, finishes it off for Chan. We're tied at 1, and just over a minute later, nice forecheck Tyler Smith. He turns over BSM, finds his running mate Gavin Eulenkamp. Actually, that was Caden Lee who had the steal and found Eulenkamp. And now, just 14 seconds into period number 3, Eulenkamp has a brace, as they say, from Caden Lee and Jack Chris, the top line there. And yeah, they're looking a little bit like the Globetrotters as this game goes on. Just a lot of space out there for Chan. Owen Bisgins had the goal. 5-2 win for the Storm.
All right, we go out to Woodbury. The Royals on fire, 16-1-1 as they take on the Roseville Matamidi Marauders. And this one is scoreless in the first period, and the rebound put home to start by Roseville Matamidi. That's Olivia Hartman on the goal. It's 1-0 here, still in the first period now, as the Woodbury Royals look for an answer, and they do get one. Beautiful pass across and a finish from Reese Herrig, who gets it to make it 1-1. Into the second period now in a 1-1 hockey game. Check out this play right here to keep it in and keep the play alive for Woodbury. And this one deflects off the stick of Natalie Meter and in. It's 2-1 now in favor of Woodbury, but Roseville Matamidi answers. That's Riley Bogren on the goal. That made it 2-2 as we enter the early stages of the third period. And here is Ruby Eskin with a snipe right over the glove there of the goaltender. Eskin makes it 3-2 in favor of Roseville Matamidi, but Woodbury would answer again, as that one's Olivia Mishikoff with the goal. And that's a big one as we go to OT in this one. 4 minutes left now in overtime. This one's going to get tipped home, and it's another goal for Ruby Eskin on the power play in overtime. And there's your game winner, Roseville Matamidi, with a big win. They have been on fire lately. That ends a 17-game unbeaten streak for the Woodbury Royals.
And yeah, one of the state's top power plays getting the job done with 3 power play goals. All right, folks, get ready for this one. You're in for a long haul. Hopkins Park and Robbinsdale Armstrong Cooper from the Minnetonka Ice Arena. And Robbinsdale Armstrong Cooper goes out front with Brianna Lavoie getting the game's first goal. They would add a second here on the rebound at 10:50 of the first period. Gabby Reedhead finds the back of the net. And then less than a minute later, as it's turned over, watch the move here. Oh, Montague sidesteps the defender. Ruby Montague, a nice finish as well. 3-0 Armstrong Cooper. This one's just beginning, though, folks. Let me assure you. Watch the feed here all the way across. Good patience and a good finish as well. Lyndon Luz finds Adrian DiGiulio to get the Hopkins Park Royals on the board. This is in the opening seconds of the second period. 11 seconds in, Rowan Jansen cuts the deficit to 1. Hopkins Park keeps on keeping on. What a finish, Casey Hellstrom. And we're tied at 3, less than 3 minutes in to the middle period. Pick this one up now on the power play for the Royals. Bryn Etzel works down for the point and scores. It's 4-3. The home team, they score 4 in a row. Now middle stages, third period. Armstrong Cooper pushing for an equalizer. They get it. Claire Hansen from Claire Riestenberg ties the game up at 4, but Hopkins Park would fight back, and less than a minute later, centering out front, and Lucy Johnson scores there from Avery Shaw. It's 5-4, and then the breakaway comes. It is Lindsay Schukard with a good finish up over the glove. Schukard for Hopkins Park, and then look here. This is literally the next faceoff, folks. They'll push the puck ahead. Short-handed, and Lucy Johnson, actually that was 5-on-5, but Lucy Johnson scores from Lindsay Schukard. 8-4. Hopkins Park Royals score 8 of the game's final 9 goals. What a wild one there.
Bemidji and Grand Rapids Greenway. This is a big one up north at the newly renovated Yanmar Arena. Bemidji going to strike first here. Nice finish on the backhand from Bailey Rupp. That would be the first of a couple goals that she had in this game. And you're going to see the second one right here, right from the top of the circle, beats the goaltender for goal number 2 in this one. So it's 2-0 in favor of Bemidji, looking to make it 3-0 here, and they do. That one is a loose puck put home by Brooklyn Vernlin, number 77. Don't see that number very often at the high school level. Grand Rapids Greenway, though, does get one here in the third period from Sophie Carlson. That made it 3-1, but that's how it would finish. Bemidji scoring 3 goals on just 7 shots. They were outshot 30-7.
Edina Minnetonka girls edition. We just had the boys edition a little bit ago. This is second period now, and the Hornets, who have had a good power play all year because of puck movement like this. Whitney Horton blows it over the glove of Layla Hemp, assisted by Hannah Halverson to go up 1-0. This is late second period now as the Hornets to the point. Tori Anderson. Watch the hands here out front. Lolo Nelson. That's Lorelai Nelson boxing out the defender out front. Good finish. 2-0 Edina. This is late third period now. We're talking under 6 minutes to go when 8th grader Sydney Boss Crone finds a loose puck and scores, tackled for her troubles. And now, less than a minute later, Kendra Distad beats the glove of Reese McConnell. We're all of a sudden tied up at 2. To overtime we go. Watch Senya Leaper out front from her knees with a finish past McConnell. Huge comeback for Minnetonka. They score 3 goals in about 10 minutes of hockey to overcome a late 2-0 Edina win, and they avenge a loss from earlier this month.
Stillwater and Woodbury, big one out in the Suburban East Conference, as the Ponies going to strike first here to make it 1-0, 10:34 into period number 1. And that was Josie St. Martin who got the goal for Stillwater. And then here in the second period now, late stages, still a 1-0 lead for the Ponies. Beautiful power play work here from Josie Lang, who finishes it to make it 2-0. That was the start of a big onslaught here from the Ponies offense. Another power play goal from Josie Lang, who has been a power play specialist all year for the Ponies, makes it 3-0. Then with 9:30 roughly to go in the period, you're going to see the offensive zone break in here from Stillwater. It's Brooke Nelson this time, who makes it 4-0. They go on to add 2 more and make it 6-0 final score.
All right, Section 8AA seating perhaps on the line at the Essentia Health Sports Center. It's Roseau at Brainerd Little Falls. First period here, and the Flying Warriors are on the board. Christina Bailiff with the goal, assisted by Peyton Lemure. 1-0 in favor of Brainerd Little Falls. Watch this nice move here, Jasmine Hovda. It's laid off, and a nice shot there by Lily Erickson. Rams tie it up. This one goes to overtime, tied at 1. Opening minute, Lily Erickson hits a streaking Peyton Remick, and Remick finishes it off. High over the glove of Erica Folden. Watch the Patty Kane Selly here. Absolutely love it. Selly hard, girls, if you score an overtime goal. Roseau gets the win, and appropriate that the St. Cloud State University hockey commit sends us to the break, because when we return, we have our St. Cloud State University player spotlight. Come on back, everyone.
One new place, plus 2 of everything, plus 1 budget. Life math is complicated. Financial experts
Hi there.
make it easier. Affinity Plus. Getting a free streaming trial. Plus, forgetting to cancel it. Life math is complicated. Fewer overdraft fees make it easier. Learn more at affinityplus.org/betterthanfree.
take a look at the SCSU player spotlight for this week, where we send it out to Richfield Ice Arena, the Academy of Holy Angels girls, with their senior night festivities early this week. And they have a pair of seniors, lifelong friends, who have chosen to play college hockey together as well, in Bella Lemire and Emily Anderson, co-captains and continuing their careers together in the future. Let's take a look.
Daughter Bella obviously started to play at E10s, and Emily Anderson joined from rec hockey, Pearl Park rec hockey before, and I vividly remember her going in the corner doing a drill, and the joke still today is going up to her and calling her Pearl Park, because she was the one kid that was playing traveling hockey that had showed up from playing rec hockey, and instantly kind of just formed this bond, and was able to coach the two of them, and they've been playing together now since, I think it's second year, U10 or so, and been good buddies since.
It had to be tryouts U10,
Yeah.
I want to say.
Yeah.
Yeah.
We instantly pretty much clicked. I mean, a lot of people have said we look alike since we were little too.
Yeah.
So I don't know, but we've been best friends since.
Yeah.
Since then.
I came from Park Board, and her dad was the first one to come up to me and actually say hi to me, and then I met Bella, so I was really, really lucky.
Yeah. Definitely humor.
I would say we're kind of the same person.
Yeah, our humor is very similar. Our values, I would say, like work ethic and
Yeah.
hockey, and
We do a lot of things together, so it kind of rubs off on each other.
yeah.
You know, anytime you see players, whether it's in the NHL, the PWHL, college hockey, high school youth, if they are able to spend time away from the rink as well as the rink, these two are really good friends off the ice, and I think you form this dynamic of accountability and productivity. And it's not just always roses. They're very complementary, but when things are hard and they expect something more out of one another, they're able to have that conversation, and over time it builds trust with one another and allows them to be able to make the right plays at the right time and continually get better. So I'd say a combo of a lot of time off ice and of course practicing each day together.
I mean, freshman year, I started 8th grade, but she came once she was a freshman, and we were both freshmen. I don't know, it's been like a build every year, and
Yeah.
even every game, like
Definitely.
honestly, but we've been there together since the start, and
Yeah.
helping the program grow and get better, and it's been really fun.
Yeah, I would say definitely in my first year I didn't get as much ice time, but then I had teammates like Bella and my other friends that were reassuring me that it would come and I would just have to work hard. And like, look at us now, like we're ranked #1 in state, and it feels pretty good.
Yeah. It was really fun. I feel like that was the most. I mean, this year comes close to our U12 team, but that team was like, we were like a family.
Yeah.
Like it was a really, really close knit team. Everyone got along.
Yeah.
I mean,
I
and
was-
that goal too. It was like reflective of the whole season.
Yeah.
We played them twice during that season, got beat pretty bad, and then just came together. Like how it feels this year too. Like really bonded closely, and the culture was really good.
Yeah.
And then we scored.
I would
and
definitely
won.
say we were really lucky to be part of that team together, and then have your dad coaching, just kind of taking us from here to here and coming out on top eventually.
I think it helps, like, we're not the only ones who were coached by him. There's like
Yeah.
a handful, most of our seniors actually have been coached by him since we were younger, so we know like what he expects, like the values we have, how we work as a team. So it's easy for us to set like a expectation for the rest of the team and help blend it together.
Our coach isn't so much worried about winning, it's about what you do to get to that point, win or loss. So it's easy to just say, okay, let's go out there and win. But then he also teaches us like how to come back from losses, how to overcome challenges, and like all the stuff that goes into a championship team.
Yeah.
Yeah, I would say definitely we've had, I think, our best year as us as players, but we've lost 2 years in a row in the section championship, so that's kind of like a chip on our shoulder. But I feel like now, like, the new team has a new confidence. We have some new great players, and our team is newly bonded, so I feel like we can just take all that and finally push through and make it to the X.
I agree. I think really like the senior leadership on this team, we've been I think all of us except for one of our seniors have been playing together since that U12 team, so that really helps too. And once we got over kind of the hump, like beating Warroad and beating Orono after losing to them, I think it's a universal feeling of like we can go all the way. Like now that we did that, I'm part of a family. Like honestly, the schooling in itself is such a close community, and I love it. And the team is just like it teaches you so, or at least for me, it taught me a lot of values like teamwork, hard work, like a bunch of life skills that I think are very helpful.
Yeah, I like going to Holy Angels because you know everyone there. It's not like a massive public school where it's like, who is that person in my class? It's like when you see someone in the hallway, like you'll say hi to them, and then it translates over to the team where it's like we get to go to school together all day, and then we get to come to the rink and be together till dinner time. So I would say it just brings us closer together because of the more community aspect of it.
A lot of things that are rewarding as a coach, but this is one of the ultimates whenever you see any player, not just these two, but be able to go through their career from youth hockey to high school, and then of course be able to play collegiate hockey. NCAA hockey is a huge accomplishment for them, and as a coach being part of kind of that ride and them watching their friendship form and the bond form, and then of course playing together. And now the chances, I don't know what the percentage chances of kids that go from high school to college and play together the same year, for them to be able to do that is super, super cool. So rewarding, of course, but also just kind of fascinating to see, and super happy for both of them that they get to play collegiate hockey together.
Time to look at the top 5 network games for the upcoming week. Yes, and it's a nice slate. We'll start with the boys this week, and it starts Tuesday night, Edina at Wayzata for the first time at 7 p.m. Running concurrently that night, Gentry Academy Stars at the Chanhassen Storm. That should be a really good one. We have a meeting of Hill-Murray and Matamidi at the St. Croix Valley Rec Center on Thursday night, and then a pair of games on Friday night. St. Thomas Academy at Hermantown on Friday night, Maple Grove at Grand Rapids, and then a little added bonus, a wrinkle into that. Those teams will switch on Saturday, so you'll get St. Thomas, Grand Rapids, and Maple Grove, Hermantown on Saturday. So a couple bonus games for your hockey weekend, but Pete, this is a really nice slate. Obviously, you mentioned the late conference tilt that Edina Wayzata won surely stands out.
Well, also Section 6AA implications. Who's going to get that top seed? They have to play each other twice. Anything can happen. That's not a make or break. If they split, that's going to go to other areas. But those two teams are in the upper echelon, no question. That is a smorgasbord of nothing but quality hockey right here on the MN Hockey TV, and I'm really excited to see how things are going to shake down in the other areas of the state. The one that really stands out to me, though, interesting, Hill-Murray and Matamidi. A Class A, Class AA team, but a lot of competition between those two teams. Some players bounce around, you know how that goes. Hill-Murray is looking to get their Section 4 AA wheels rolling there. And then also, how about Maple Grove and Grand Rapids? Thunderhawks playing very good hockey.
Yeah, and obviously in that Matamidi Hill-Murray game, always the Jeff Poschel angle, right? Playing coaching against his alma mater in Hill-Murray that he backstopped.
The 500 game winner.
Many years ago,
Yep,
yes.
absolutely.
But yes, another legendary coach there. All right, time to look at the girls' slate. We'll also start there on Tuesday night. Teams first and second as of recording in the the Suburban East Conference. It's Roseville Matamidi at Stillwater. And then that same night, Crookston at Bemidji. That's a big game of a couple outstate teams. We pick up the Battle of Woodbury, also on Tuesday night, a triple header, 7:30 p.m. Eastridge at Woodbury. We have another clash of Titans, Andover at Edina Thursday night, that at 7:45, and then a Saturday afternoon tilt, a Catholic classic, if you will, 2:45. Holy Family at Benil.
You know how the NHL does rivalry night on Wednesday nights. That's what this whole week looks like.
Yes.
Andover and Edina playing for about the 20th time this year. That's great stuff. Those two have been going back and forth for years. Always a great matchup there. But that Suburban East matchup is very interesting. Two of them in there with the top two teams with Stillwater and Roseville Matamidi. That should be very interesting. But the Battle of Woodbury with Eastridge and Woodbury, always special. Are you going to be on the call for that one?
I think I have a different game, actually. I think I'll be here in the Hopkins Park area that night.
The friendly confines.
Yes.
But a really good slate of games,
yes.
for sure.
And then an additional Suburban East game not on the list. Didn't want to double up on either Stillwater or Woodbury, but Woodbury will visit Stillwater on Thursday night. That will be another big clash. A couple more exciting Hockey Night in Minnesota matchups for you. We'll start on Tuesday night from the Victoria Rec Center on the girls' side. Gentry Academy visiting Holy Family Catholic. Pete, I was on the call for this game last year, an overtime game. It seems like it's always an overtime game when I'm at Victoria Rec Center. Don't think I'll be there that night, but we'll see what happens in this one. A matchup of two pretty good teams on the network.
Two really good teams, defending state champs in Gentry Academy. They're finding their way right now. They're getting playoff tested and playing teams that are looking to get into the state tournament as well. always a good game at the Victoria Rec Center. Doesn't matter who's in there. It always seems to be dicey, and some sort of overtime game is looming. I'm making the call on that right now.
Ooh, all right. That'll be a double feature night there as well, as you have Gentry and at Chan on the other side. So Gentry Academy will be invading the rec center that night.
Ladies and gentlemen, run, don't walk. Get your tickets in advance.
That's right.
You won't want to miss it. You're not going to be able to park
No.
either, so get there early.
You might be parking at Holy Family High School.
You're taking the shuttle.
That's right. All right, and then the boys matchup. We've been looking forward to this one for a very long time. Edina at Eden Prairie, the rematch. Of course, their other game is in the Holiday Classic. That counts as a Lake Conference Tilly now. But this one at the Eden Prairie Community Center, speaking of special tickets, special atmospheres, it's tight quarters there, but what a great atmosphere at the EP Community Center.
A wonderful place to watch and play a high school hockey game. When you play Eden Prairie and Edina, it doesn't matter what their records are, if they're top 10 or not. They bring their A games. There's no respect for either one of them in a good way. They're not intimidated by each team. And the one thing that's going to stand out are the defensemen on that Eden Prairie team. I think they got the top 4 best defensemen collectively in the state.
Wow.
And head coach Mike Twilliger will say maybe even 6 or 7.
Sure.
And Edina's got a very balanced attack offensively. They're not really worried about matching lines, and they're just going to run their forwards out there. They've been playing 4 lines a lot this year, so this is going to be a really great battle of attrition on the Care 11 Hockey Night in Minnesota.
And of course, the first meeting was very competitive. I think in many ways that was a bit of a coming out party for the Eagles, even in a loss. Their resume has only grown since then. This is a solid top 10 team that has aspirations to go even higher.
It's going to be a lot of fun. Be sure to check them out.
All right, it's time now to take a look at our Care 11 top 11 for the week starting January 22nd. And we'll start on the boys AA side, and the top 4 remains the same. Minnetonka and Wayzata remain unbeaten. Edina at number 3. They will take on Wayzata later this week. Chanhassen at 4. Eden Prairie moves up to 5. Shakopee makes a big jump to 13-3-1. They're at number 6. Benilde, Andover, Maple Grove stay the same at 7, 8, 9. And then Gentry the same at 11. And we welcome the Centennial Cougars, Brandon, at number 10 with a 10-4-2 record overall.
Yeah, Centennial is in after the head-to-head win over Rogers on Saturday. If we're being honest, it's a little harsh that Rogers probably gets dumped out of here. They're definitely on the periphery, as a lot of teams are. But one thing we've noticed, and you noted it with the top 4 staying stable, really the gap from 4 to the rest is, I think, quite significant right now. There's definitely a line of demarcation. We really debated, what do we do at 5 and things. And EP they lost 4-0 to Minnetonka, but that's a 2-0 game with 2 late goals. Shakopee, the record, we bumped them up a little bit. And then Gentry holds in that 11 spot is kind of a wait and see. They get their 2 toughest tests of the season so far against Chan on Tuesday night and then Shakopee on Thursday night. We'll see what happens with Gentry from there.
All right, now on to the boys' Class A side. And there are no changes here except the number 11 spot. It was Proctor last week. And for the second time this year, we welcome back the Thief River Falls Prowlers.
Yeah, the theme here is really holding station. There were no head-to-head games really in this top group. The losses came at the last couple spots. Matamidi loses to Eden Prairie, as you saw in the highlights. Laverne lost to AA New Prague, their first loss of the year. But, I mean, the chasing pack all has 5, 6, 7 losses. So Thief River Falls has been playing good hockey here for a while. They beat Little Falls last week, and their overall resume jumps them up to number 11.
Okay, on to the girls now. We'll start with girls AA, and very similar to the boys Class A, as the only change comes at the number 11 spot. Brandon, we welcome back Stillwater after their head-to-head win this week over the Woodbury Royals, and they'll meet again here this upcoming week.
They will. Stillwater's got a big week against Roseville, Matamidi, and Woodbury, 2 teams that you saw back in our highlight package. One thing I think I've noted this on our top 11 before, but one thing I really like about this girls' top 11 this year, each of the 8 sections are all represented with these 11 teams. It's an unusually deep kind of year in terms of the teams, and we've reached the point in this regular season. There's only 2 weeks left in the girls' regular season. We've reached that point of the year where things are pretty stable. So you see 11 switch around, and I think we'll see the same case in the girls' top 11 or the Class A top 11 as well.
It is certainly going to make for a fun postseason, that is for sure, as we'll look at the girls' Class A. It is the top 6 that stays the same here. Holy Angels at number 1 for the second straight week. Very few changes here as well, but Mount Westonka Southwest Christian takes the spot over Crookston. They flip-flop there. Brett goes up to number 9, and we welcome back South St. Paul at number 11.
Yeah, a couple of results from this past week to note. Orono and Dodge County went to overtime. That was Dodge County's probably biggest test of the year so far, and even in a loss, they showed that they can play with the state's elite team, so they will stay at 3. And we'll look ahead, actually, to Dodge County and Northfield in a couple of weeks. That'll be a very entertaining clash of 1A and 1AA. And then Duluth, Marshall, Proctor, Hermantown to look forward to this week. We'll finally get that potential section final preview sorted. Pine City had a loss, so they're out from last week. So South St. Paul, you're back in there at number 11. But it's kind of been a similar case in girls 11. It's, one or two teams will lose, and then they drop out, and we kind of bring a couple back in. So welcome back to the Packers. And then Mount Westonka, they played great lately and rewarded with a bump.
Well, this will conclude an action-packed show of Inside the Bubble on KARE 11 Plus and the KARE 11 streaming apps. When the players take the ice, we've got the youngsters out here. That is our cue to move aside and step aside. And a lot of great talent out here at the Hopkins Pavilion. It's fun to watch. Brandon, an action-packed week of hockey. I can't wait to see what's going to happen. I'm sure you'll be in plenty of rinks this week as well.
No doubt about it. And hey, these are the future stars that we're maybe going to be covering into the future. So hey, it's their show, right? We'll step aside.
Brandon was already working the pronunciation guide, so he gets them right on his next broadcast when they get there. For Brandon Spratt, I'm Pete Wagner. So long, everybody.